Hey everybody, thank you for watching my video about replacing a water pump in an '02 Tahoe. For the record, it's a 5.3 liter. That makes it a 327. So if that has any other applications for like pickups, or I don't know exactly what year range this whole process is, so just be wary of that. I got a couple of quick notes for you real quick. When you separate the fan shrouds and you pop those plastic pins loose, you don't necessarily have to replace them. You can secure the fan shroud, the upper lower fan shroud, with tie wraps. And that's what I did. I was like, I'm not pushing these things back through. Screw that noise. I'm just gonna tie wrap it off, cut the excess off, and the next time I need to do it, I'll just go in there with a pair of wire cutters and good to go. So that's one easy way to knock that out. The other tip I want to tell you is when you reinstall your new water pump, what you want to do is take the mounting bolts, the 10 millimeter mounting bolts that I talk about, put them back through the water pump, and on the backside, put your gaskets on. That helps you from trying to wiggle gaskets and bolt holes and bolts. It's so much easier. You just get them started, a couple of threads. It'll sit there by itself, and then you can get it tight. Be sure to hold it with your hand. Get it tight with that ratchet, and everything's copacetic, okay? Make sure also that your hoses are well connected to your water pump, just in case, okay? Some of those hoses may be a pain in the butt, so you might want to get in there with some WD-40 or PB Blaster to kind of lubricate them a little bit so you can pull them off or knock them loose, okay? That's it. Thanks for watching the video. Please like, please subscribe, please tell your friends, and leave comments if you can. Thanks. I decided it's time to replace my water pump. My dad, when he gave me this vehicle, it's an '02 Tahoe, of course, he told me it would overheat a little bit, and he swapped out the thermostat, and it didn't fix it, so next step, water pump, right? So I went to I went to rockauto.com and ordered a water pump for a daily driver, but to get to the water pump, you got to go through a bunch of stuff. So let me show you what I've done so far. As you see, I've taken the air filter cover loose. It's just 3 screws. 4 screws. 3, and the 4th one. And they stay in, and you just pop it loose. While I was at it, I loosened the hose clamp for the air intake right here. And I loosened it right here as well. And then you just, if you look right here, this clamp right here, it kind of goes into this piece right here. So you have to pop that loose, and then it just tugs loose. To take the shroud off, you have to remove these little pins here. They're in the bottom. See that big hole? There's 1. There's 2 right in there. There's 3. And the 4th one is way back there in the corner. Also, you have 2 bolts right here and right here. Those are 10 millimeter bolts. So fortunately, Chevy's been sticking with the metric system. I know back in the day they used to mix and match metric and, SAE. I went left to right, popping these guys loose here. And the last one right here was kind of tough because the fan shroud was already loose. So when you do that, I just used a screwdriver and a flat tip screwdriver, and I reached in like behind the shroud here, between the shroud and the radiator, and I got in and I was able to, bust it loose. All right, now that the top of the fan shroud is removed, you can tell I have pretty good access to the water pump. I have to find how to drain the fluid out of the radiator. I don't see a drain plug. This is a new I've never worked on this particular vehicle before, so I'm gonna look for if there's a drain plug. If not, I just gotta, looks like I just gotta take looks like this hose loose, and then I could probably use it. I'll have a drip pan underneath the vehicle. As you can tell, I don't know if you noticed, but see the cracks on my serpentine belt right there? that belt's going to get replaced while I'm at it because, well, I have it and I bought it because I thought if I got all this loose now, I might as well do all this work. So going to do that. In case you didn't know, the O2 Tahoe actually runs 2 belts. It's got a large serpentine belt that is your main power belt, and then it's got a smaller belt that runs the AC compressor off the crank pulley. I found the drain plug. Okay, can't really see it right now, but hang on. Yeah, it's hard to focus. See all that coolant leaking out? There's a plastic plug down in the bottom corner of the radiator. Takes a little bit of tugging with a pair of pliers. Here's the plastic plug right here. So once you get the radiator drained, put it back in. Otherwise, it's all fruitless. That's the drain plug for the radiator. So that's good. I did make a mess though. It's splattering about. So I got some cleaning up to do. I got a coffee can and my poor drip pan is working overtime here. Probably should have turned it sideways because I'm an idiot. But what are you gonna do? Too late now. It's still splattering. To get the serpentine belt loose, you got to put a 15mm socket right here. Use a ratchet. I used a breaker bar I made out of a bicycle seat post to righty-tighty, which you know, takes the tension off the belt. You can slide the belt off all the pulleys. So, if you're wondering why I have a big old C-clamp on my water pump pulley, is because, as usual, the fan clutch nut is tough as heck. So, yeah. Also, I had to go to Home Depot and buy this big-ass crescent wrench. And I'm about to give it a little bit of love tap. Now, I'm not worried about damaging this the clutch pulley because my new water pump comes with one. So, if you guys want to preserve your clutch pulley for some reason, don't do this right here. This is a no-no. Now, if you don't give a crap and your new water pump has a pulley on it, who cares, right? Alright, now this was a little tougher than I thought, but make sure when you put the C-clamp on the pulley, put it up. I'm sorry guys, the wind's real bad today. Put it right here, see where this notch is, and then put that crescent wrench right here on this nut right here, and you gotta whack it like with a hammer. I used I think a 5-pound mallet. That's just what I have around that. Yeah, I have a 5-pound mallet just laying around like Mjolnir from Thor. Anyway, but and it takes some time, but it'll come off. What I did once it broke loose, I just took the clamp off and held it with my hand, and it spun right off. So this fan is going on the new water pump, y'all. All right. Hey, guess what I got off the truck? The water pump. Now I removed the four hoses, and one of the hoses was pretty tough. So what I did was I loosened 6 10mm bolts, and that's what brought the water pump loose. And then I was able to kind of turn it at an angle, then wiggle the last hose loose. Last thing to pull off is the pulley, the belt tensioner. This guy here is 3 15mm bolts. Thank God. I'm so glad they're back on just using one standard of measurement, man. Metric, SAE, I don't care. Just I remember working on some older pickups and they were mixed. I was like, what are you doing, Chevy? Stop. So yeah, it's off. That's it. And it's gonna go right on to the new one. And everything else goes together in reverse order. I'm not gonna make a video about that. Just do everything opposite, or just play this video backwards. Just kidding. I don't think YouTube lets you do that. Thanks for watching again, and be sure to subscribe and leave a comment. If you guys got a better way of doing this, or something, if you found an easier way, let me know. And I'll catch you on the next vid.